Okay, so now, where's my Bookstore 2? Okay. So Bookstore 2, similar to what we did, like one of the questions we did before. So basically, it's to excuse me, is to buy, sell the calendar. So when we buy calendar, it the cost is $7.50, and we can sell it for $10. But the thing is that if we buy more than the demand, then we'll have leftover. Whenever we have leftover, we can only, and when the new year starts, the calendar will have, we have to sell it at discount, right? So, or refund. So we can get a refund. So if we buy too many, then we can only get $2.50 back for whatever left. Okay, we couldn't sell. So now we need to decide, how many we're going to order. And one other thing we could use is simulation. So with this, we are going to use the random table like we talked about to run, to simulate, what the demand will be. And then because we have the demand distribution, and then we assume, this is following the normal distribution. So we will use the random table to get the different demand. So this is also on the handout from the previous chapter, with the October 6th. So this one, let's see, where is mine? So this is 6. So I'm going to go to 2, Bookstore 2. So for Bookstore 2, this is 2. So first thing is, this is 2. So first thing is we need to determine the probability table, okay? So we will put in what is this? 0 in D5. So D5 is a cumulative probability. So that means from 0 to the next one, okay? So let me show you. So D6 will be equal to D5 plus F5. Okay, I'll do this first and I'll show you what happened. So till here, you have 95. So that means when we run the simulation table, okay, we could use, remember we say, if we do the rand, let me just put it here first, sorry. If I do the random, okay, remember this? So it will select a random number between 0 and 1, okay? So we could do this. If we do this, we just pop up any number. And now we need to tell Excel, when this shows 0.25, then you need to go back here. So if it's 2.25, that means the demand will be 100. So anything between 0 and 0.3 is 100, because we have 30% of chance to get demand of 100, okay? So that's what we are going to tell Excel. But before that, like, we have to, figure out what the demand will be put in here, right? So we do this table first. And then we use this formula we call VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP is vertical lookup, okay? So that means, let me see, what should I do? So we have to put the range name D5 to F9, which is this area, D5 and F9, and we put the range name. So did I tell you how to put range name yet? Okay, so if we put a range name, that means we change this here, and then we will put it as lookup table. Okay, let me follow this. Yeah, lookup table. So let's just put it here. Look up table. So when you put it in, if I say equal, it will select the whole thing. Or if you select this whole thing, it will show equal to lookup table. But it doesn't work like that because the lookup table is this big. It has 3 columns and then 5 rows. So they cannot put all these table into that cell. I just want to show you. When we change the name, that's what their name will be. Okay. So now the formula we want to put in is the VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP is good when we tell them to look up some number, and then they will go to that table, and then you will tell them, where you are going to look up, and then what are you going to put it in, okay? So let me copy, let me do this. So here, the demand. So we want this they will look up the first column. So we can they will look up this 0, and then if it's between 0 and 0.3, remember I told you, then so let's do this. So VLOOKUP, so if I put in VLOOKUP, you see they have formula that says it will look for value in the leftmost, so the first column of the table, and then return the value in the same row from the column you specify. Okay, so VLOOKUP. And then you see the first one is lookup value. And lookup value. So what should we put in lookup value? What is the value we are going to find here? That's a random number, right? Right? So remember we put a ran and then parentheses. But now we are going to put in that formula here. Okay? So we are going to look up the random number, and then it will be between 0 and 1. So whatever random number Excel generates, we will tell them, whatever number you see here, you go back, look up from the table. If it's 0.3, then you show me demand is 150. okay? So if the value is between 0 and 3, you show me the demand. So we go back to the table array. So we have to select that table. Don't forget to put comma. So when we do rand, this, comma, and then we select the whole table, this table. And you see when you do that, it shows our range names. Whatever name, we put it there, okay? So we can do comma. And then the column index number. So what column we wanted to show here? We wanted to show the second column, right? So we put 2. So whatever number, whatever value they look up, they will go to the table and then they will put the corresponding number, the demand in that column. So put 2. So see, it shows 100. So that means the random number shows something. Too bad that I can't show you all. Wait, let me do this first. Let me do this first. Sorry. B lookup. B lookup. Okay. And let's do. Let me just do it here because we are going to change it later on. So let's do D lookup D19. Okay, cost, under cost, I'm going to put a random number formula there to show you what it means. So this, then we select this, and then 2. Okay, so, oops, there's nothing there yet, so that's why it shows 100. But we need to do random number here. So see, now the random number is 0.04. That's why the number it shows under revenue, which should be the demand, is 100. But now let's do this. So now we see the random number is 0.74, and then when it's 0.74, it's here, right? 200. 0.5 to 0.8 is 200, demand 200. So that's why it shows this number. Okay? And I press 7.4 again. See, now it's 0.21. 0.21 is between 0 and 0.3. So it shows us demand 100. Okay? So that's why, but we now combine these two formula, these two information into one here. So whatever we show here, it gives us, the demand based on the possibility, the probability, okay? So we can drag this whole thing down to show you like, so even if we run it for 1,000 times, in theory, it will follow the distribution. Okay, so in theory, it should be between 100 to 300. And how many times they have 100? It should be very close to 30%. So it should follow this because usually the random table is like very random, right? And when we do so many simulation, 1,000 cases, it should follow the distribution, okay? Any questions so far? So here we got the demand. So now we know, okay, so what if the demand is 300? What will be our revenue? Okay, so the revenue then, in this case, if we order 200, that means we're going to sell all of them. So our revenue will be 200 times the unit price, 10. But what if the demand is 150, then we have something left over, right? So the revenue formula is a little bit, just a little bit complicated. So, oh, no, the revenue is just the unit cost times order quantity. cost. So the revenue should be, where is it? Oh, well, it's okay, I'll just do this. So the revenue means we have to, so unfortunately, the handout, I think I accidentally deleted that formula. But the revenue is our unit price, right? Times if when the demand is greater than the quantity, then it would be the quantity. But when the demand is smaller than the quantity, then it will be times the demand, right? So we are going to use the minimum maximum formula. So it will be times the whatever the smaller number is, the mean of, so mean means it will show the smallest number in a set of value. And in this case, we only have two value, two sets. One is order quantity, one is demand. Okay, so we are going to do this, either the order quantity or the demand. So that's our revenue. Okay. But we need to drag the whole thing down to 1,000, right? So if we don't put dollar sign here, when we drag it down, it would move. Did you guys notice when we do demand, we also put the lookup table, but when we drag it down, it still stay there. It didn't move. Why? Because when we use range name, it's just like we have the dollar sign. So now we have to do B5. We have to give B5 a range name, and then we should give B9 also range name. B19 is this. So this one, when we drag it down, we want it to go down. So this one, we don't want to put in anything. But for B5, B9, we need to put in some range names. Okay? So now let's just go back. So we put in some range names. So for this one, B4, I'll put in unit cost. So remember when you have range names, it will go into our formula. Remember, it will show on the formula. So the range name cannot have space, cannot have dash. So if you want to use dash, use underscore to replace dash. Okay, and you cannot have anything that can be calculated. Like you cannot use the star because star is multiple in Excel formula. Okay, and you cannot use that, this is called that, right? That you cannot use this. So I usually just use capital letter to, so when I look at it, it looks a little bit better. So this is unit cost, and then here I put in unit price. And then here I put in unit refund. Well, and here I put in order quantity. Okay. Any question? Everybody finish or should I wait? Okay. So that's this. So now let's go back to C19. So now we can put in revenue is unit price. So see when I click now, it shows unit price. And when we drag it down, it will stay there. It wouldn't move because that's the cell that we say this is unit price times, times the minimum of either order quantity or the demand. Okay. So now you see when the demand is smaller than the order quantity, the revenue is only the demand. Okay. So we can drag it down all the way. 1,000. Then you can double click to check. Oh, so here, see, it stays here. And it stays here, doesn't move, okay? So that's this. Any questions so far? I don't like to see too many zeros, so let me make it one number. So this is that. And then the cost. The cost is relatively easy because whatever we order times the, the cost is the cost. So this times the cost is the cost. So the cost is always the same. Copy the whole thing because we already put the range names in there. So in theory, it should stay there. Okay? Yeah. So now the refund. What is the refund? So if the demand is 100, we order 200, then the refund is 200 minus 100 times 2.5, right? But if the demand is higher than order quantity, then there's no refund. So how do we show that? Make Excel calculate that on our form. So let's do this. So refund is 2.5 times, times. So in this case, we are going to do, let me think, the maximum, the maximum number, whatever is bigger. So when there's no leftover, that's 0. But if, let me think, order quantity is greater than the demand, then it will be, there'll be more than 0, right? So we have to do maximum of 0 or the order quantity minus demand, right? Is it right? I don't know. My brain is not. Is my logic correct? Or should I do B90 minus order quantity? Let me think. So demand, when demand is smaller, order quantity minus that, minus demand, we have leftover. Yeah, okay, so yeah. So whatever bigger number is, if the order quantity, when order quantity is smaller than the demand, then this number will be negative, right? When order quantity minus demand, it will be negative. So we took 0. Yeah, okay. So in this case, if the demand is 150, we have 50 left over times 2.5. Okay, so this is correct. Any questions? Yeah. So also let's drag it down. Okay. So you see, if demand is 300 and there's no refund, that's good. So let me take like zeros. Okay, so the profit will be just revenue minus cost plus refund, right? So let's drag this down again. So if the demand is only 100 and we order 200, we will have $250 loss. So now, something extra for you guys. So now you can turn this in, but if you can put in the average profit by yourself, okay? So how do you do that? You put in, I'll show you the first one. You put in average, and then you select the whole column, like here from the profit here. You select the 1,000 case. Okay? Then you get the average. Same as standard deviation and mean and max. Okay, so if you do this, I'll give you extra credit. Only for those who is here and for those who watch the video. Okay, so this one you submit it to October 13 Dropbox, please. So now I update the Dropbox. So for October 13, if you go there, you will see we need to put in Wharton Bookstore 2. Okay? And for those who already submitted, please, move it, because it's easier for me to grade. Otherwise, I don't remember what I rate from different, folder. And then every folder I have different grade, like score I gave you. So, and then for October 20th, we will see how long it will take us. Okay, so now let's do. Let me close this so I have separate videos. Okay.